Here's the thing, Alice Cooper will not live forever.
I guess so.
Wow.
Why are you gonna say that, man? Why are you gonna say that out loud in front of all this, man?
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Last Words on the Pit. I'm Katy Irizarry of Season and Mist, and I'm here today with my co-hosts.
I'm Jordan Olds from 2 Minutes Too Late Night.
And I am Doc Coyle, guitarist for the band Bad Wolves and host of the X-Man podcast.
We have a guest with us today. Welcome our new senior writer over at the Pit, our website, Chris Krovatin, rhymes with Satan. How's it going, man?
It goes, man. It goes. Just like worrying about what Metallica does, and all the other typical staff writer stuff.
Hunter Gatherer by Avatar. I feel like that's a band I've avoided listening to for many years. I don't have a strong opinion on this. It kind of sounded more or less. It sounded like what I thought it would sound like. I don't know, late 90s radio metal with like current day radio metal, and I'm like, this is not for me, but it's fine. It's for somebody. The guy's doing the crow makeup again. Alice Cooper.
Look who's talking.
I know, but I'm a comedian. It's a joke for him. That's his life. But, like that specific type, like the one drip up the eye, one down, one, and then also the mouthpiece. Like, there's just been so many different singers who have done like icons. Like, it's you. I think you see that makeup and you automatically identify that as Alice Cooper. So I just thought it was a bizarre choice.
Here's the thing, Alice Cooper will not live forever.
I guess so.
Wow.
Why are you gonna say that, man? Why are you gonna say that out loud in front of all this, man?
As if things aren't sad enough, thanks for bringing the mood down.
I'm just saying, was he gonna pass it down to his son? He's gonna be out there with the hat and stuff. I mean, come on, man. I mean,
Right. The only band that needs to do that is Kiss, where they have already pretty much called themselves out as the next Menudo, and they are just going to keep going with new members even long after they're all dead.
Alice Cooper, The Crow, Sting from wrestling. Like, a lot of people have done this specific makeup job.
Jordan, are you serious right now? Are you really? Your big criticism is the makeup isn't original enough. That is your actual criticism right now. I could go to a show and see 10 stoner bands where I couldn't pick one out of a lineup that looked different from one another. And this is the thing that we're actually going to talk about. Who gives a about the damn makeup? Like, that don't
Look, here's the thing. If you're gonna make the decision to be a makeup dude and you're like, we're gonna try to be like a top radio band, like it's like Ghost picked I haven't seen anybody do makeup Pope before and be in a rock band. In this day and age, I was like, all right, it's just literally also Alice Cooper. I'm not saying it's not gonna work. I'm just saying it's a weird choice.
But he doesn't actually look like Alice Cooper. If you look at his makeup, he looks like a twisted clown. Alice Cooper is not doing clown makeup.
So, hold on, I've got Alice Cooper makeup that you could maybe see. I've got to just adjust my camera. See, I got Alice Cooper.
I'm just going to Google Alice Cooper also.
I think this goes at the heart of a lot of the issues, and this is what I kind of love about the just the divisions in our taste, because not only was this by far my favorite record of the week, this is probably like one of my favorite records of the year, and unlike everything else, it's fun. It got riffs, they got hooks. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm going fishing because it's got hooks everywhere, right? And no, it's not radio, dude. The closest thing I could find to it is basically a really heavy version of Faith No More meets System of a Down, but the guy does like brutal vocals, and then they have the shredding, like some of the best lead guitar playing I've heard in any band. I think this band is really unique. I've been a fan of them for a long time, and I'm actually listening to this album. I think they're already very popular, by the way.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're incredibly popular.
I see them hearing this album. I see them making that next step to kind of the next level. But I think what's cool about, listen, I'm in a band that has very radio songs on the radio. And I don't hear that. I think they're actually trying to do something interesting and different and left of center from what's on the radio. Comparatively, if you were to put one of these songs and put it up against a Breaking Benjamin or a Theory of a Dead Man, like real radio bands, I think it's actually it's like if, to me, it's like if Willy Wonka started a metal band. This is what it would sound like. And I think it's so good. Honestly, like, I love this. I think it's amazing. I think they're a really great band. One of the best bands going right now. Boom.
I gotta agree with Doc. I thought this album was fantastic. I really do. I will say this is my second favorite. My first favorite, I'm not gonna lie, was absolutely J Jail. But this, I really enjoyed this album. It was anthemic. There absolutely were very memorable hooks, riffs. There were solos, like real, like legit, crazy good solos. I think it's that anthemic festival vibe that this album that could be confused maybe with radio rock, because there is something sing-songy about it, and those hooks that kind of stay with you. I guess but like it's I could see how the two could kind of cross paths, but to me I just see it more being like on that festival stage, headlining Rock on the Range or playing on one of the main stages at Hellfest or something like that. I feel, and that's what I think is cool about this band. I think they're a little versatile like that.
When I said radio, I meant like I hear Slipknot, I hear Trivium, like that's Trivium counts as like a radio band,
like household name, I guess.
Not really.
I think something you guys keep saying festival, and I feel like in Europe especially, a lot of those festivals have like an icy German power metal band, a new metal band, and like sort of an alternative metal band, like on the same stage, and the same people are watching them. And I really feel like that's what this album does well. Is it's got like a little bit of power metal and a little bit of death metal, and this feeling of like all-purpose, like big epic metal that can't be put into one genre or another. And like so I'm an unabashed love of clown anything. I love Mr. Bungle. I love ICP, and that's the other thing. You see Alice Cooper, but in Europe, that's a clown, because in Europe, clowns are these weird white harlequin things that come out of the puppet shop to eat a child. And so like they're very much doing this like circus metal thing, this larger than life thing. And I love that shit, man. There's a song on this album, Colossus, and that thing,
so good. Oh, so man, good.
And I just every time I was walking around the other day listening to it, being like, I just want to stomp around in clown shoes, man. And so like,
I'm gonna put that on right when this is done.
That festival thing, to me, it's also the circus thing. And I love the circus when it comes to metal. I love this idea of it's what I love about Slipknot at a certain point. I just love how big this is. I love how big it is, man. As of everyone in the same tent at the same time. So I love this album, man. I couldn't stop listening to this album, despite the fact that, again, it's like a Swedish band playing clown metal, which on paper, if you say that to somebody, they're like, I'd really rather not, man. So, so yeah, I but I couldn't help it, man. That Colossus song is so huge. It's so huge.
I'm a little overwhelmingly passionate about this because, when I was writing at VH1, I would have these themes in my articles where I was like missing the bands that got me into metal. Right. And I don't mean them specifically. I mean bands like that if we don't replace the Metallicas and the Iron Maidens as the headliners, these massive arena stadium bands, then the genre will be lost eventually. And I feel like the underground eats its own, that anytime there's some new band that kind of has really big ambition and thinks like big picture, the whole metal scene just shits on them. It's like, I remember Ghost was like the coolest band in Brooklyn until they got popular. Like overnight.
I remember that.
I got roasted in the comments on one of our like Facebook clips because I was wearing a Ghost shirt. And I'm like, you are the people that are holding metal back because you don't want to admit that this is a great album, or you don't want to admit the great bands.
I think there is a difference. I think what I don't like about this is that this album sounds dated. I'm hearing the radio metal, like the metal that was popular like a few decades ago. Like I want to see bands succeed. Like I like what Ghost was. I think Ghost is great because I haven't heard a band like that in a long time succeed the way that they have. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a Code Orange because they are using the tools that are from this, like they're using pieces of Slipknot, but they're not using like exactly the formula of Slipknot. Like Code Orange, I think sounds like something new.
Who does Avatar sound like?
Slipknot and Trivium together. That's what I hear.
By the way, if you think Avatar sounds like Trivium,
The guitar, well, just the shredding. Like the shredding, it's good guitar playing.
What?
I'm not saying that Avatar is even bad at what they're doing.
You listen.
Are you okay, Doc?
Bruh.
All right.
We need we need you and me. You know, I believe human and fish can coexist peacefully. George Bush.
Gordon, you gave Doc a stroke.
I think if you think this sounds like Trivium, I really don't think you've listened to much Trivium. I think it's a real miss. Like I said, the two corollaries I brought up, Faith No More, System of a Down, with like this down tune heavy, thing. Listen, we don't have enough bands that sound like Faith No More, as far as I'm concerned. That's like, from my perspective, as someone who I feel is a little bit more into the more mainstream metal bands and is familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's on, trust me, go listen to Octane for about an hour and you will hear what's the radio bands are. And it is so much more commercial than you even realize.
Right.
But Trivium is like a band that will get, just in the last 5 years, they'll get a song maybe top 20. My Band Battles has 5 #1 active rock singles. Right?
Yeah.
And all our heavy songs are not those songs. It's the more straightforward rock songs that have gone over in that format. And it is very much that. So you can penetrate a little bit. And Avatar has had some success at radio. So I don't want to pretend like they don't have some crossover into that world. But I just don't think they're indicative of the general radio band. They're more of an outlier. They're more like a Ghost.
It's funny because in a way is like that Arch Enemy, where it's very much a metal band and like a huge stadium band, but like a metal band nonetheless. You know what I mean? Like they're even in their circus moments and their goofy and sort of like kinetic moments, like their big stomping moments, they're very much still like a metal band from Europe in my mind, in a way.
And they got more metal over time. They started out a little more straightforward and like bulky, and each album they've added more crazy guitars and weird instruments. So they've been very experimental from album to album and expanded, kind of, really brought that Swedish influence.
All right, that does it for us here at Last Words on The Pit. Follow us on all social media at We Are The Pit. Like and subscribe. Hit the little bell so it reminds you to watch Last Words here in The Pit. Chris, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram only at Krovatinist. It's my last name with an ist at the end, like a Satanist.
I'm Katy Irizarry. You can find me at Merciful Kate on Twitter and Instagram.
And I am Doc Coyle. You can find me at Doc Coyle, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere.
We're here every Thursday. Goodbye.